Have you ever pondered on the criticality of governance, risk management, and compliance in the realm of information security? In the world of cybersecurity, these three tenets form an intricate web, each strand supporting and reinforcing the others. Let's take a closer look. Starting with information security governance, or InfoSec governance. This is the overarching framework that guides how an organization identifies and manages its digital assets. It's about putting policies in place, making sure there's a clear chain of responsibility, and setting the strategic direction for information security. It's like the conductor of an orchestra, setting the tempo and ensuring every instrument plays its part in harmony. Next, we have risk management. This is the process of identifying potential risks that could harm an organization's digital assets and taking the necessary steps to reduce those risks. Think of it as the scouts on a ship, always on the lookout for potential hazards and charting the safest course. And last but not least, we have compliance. This is all about ensuring that the organization is following all the necessary laws, regulations, and standards related to information security. It's the organization's way of showing that it's playing by the rules, a bit like a student handing in their homework on time. So how do these three elements connect? Well, imagine InfoSec governance as the heart of the system, pumping out policies and guidelines. Risk management is the nervous system, constantly scanning the environment for threats and feeding back information. Compliance, then, is the skin, the visible layer that shows the world that the organization is healthy and functioning correctly. Each of these components relies on the others to function effectively. Governance sets the direction, risk management provides the feedback, and compliance ensures everything is done by the book. They're interconnected, interdependent, and absolutely crucial for maintaining a secure information technology environment. Without these three pillars, an organization's information security is like a castle built on sand, ready to crumble at the slightest disturbance. To truly grasp the importance of governance, risk management, and compliance, let's delve into the infamous Equifax data breach of 2017. In September of that year, Equifax, one of the three major consumer credit reporting agencies, announced a massive data breach. The breach exposed the personal information of nearly 147 million people, including social security numbers, birth dates, and addresses. The magnitude of this breach was staggering, putting almost half of the US population at risk of identity theft and fraud. What led to this colossal breach? At the heart of it, poor governance, inadequate risk management, and a flagrant disregard for compliance were the culprits. Equifax failed to patch a known vulnerability in a web application tool they were using, despite having 2 months to do so before the breach occurred. This oversight was a clear failure of governance and risk management, demonstrating an alarming lack of urgency and accountability. Moreover, Equifax was non-compliant with the Federal Trade Commission's Safeguards Rule, which requires financial institutions to have measures in place to keep customer information secure. This non-compliance, coupled with poor governance and inadequate risk management, created an environment ripe for a breach. The aftermath of the breach was devastating for Equifax. The company faced a barrage of lawsuits, lost millions in revenue, and its reputation took a severe hit. The CEO, along with other top executives, were forced to step down. Equifax's stock price plummeted nearly 34% in the days following the announcement of the breach. In the end, Equifax agreed to a settlement of up to $700 million to help people affected by the breach. This included restitution for those who had their identities stolen or experienced other direct losses, and funding for credit monitoring services for those affected. The Equifax data breach serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of robust governance, effective risk management, and strict compliance in the realm of information security. It's a clear real-world example of how failure in these areas can lead to catastrophic results. Now that you understand the consequences, what can be learned from Equifax's mistakes? Let's delve into the steps that could have been taken to prevent the breach. Firstly, Equifax could have strengthened its governance. This involves establishing a framework of procedures and clear lines of responsibility among the staff. A strong governance structure would have ensured that the patches, which could have prevented the breach, were applied promptly. Secondly, effective risk management could have saved the day. Regular risk assessments are vital to identify and evaluate potential threats. If Equifax had conducted regular risk assessments, they could have detected the vulnerability in their system and addressed it before it was exploited. But just identifying risks isn't enough. Once a risk is identified, the organization must take steps to mitigate it. In Equifax's case, this could have been as simple as applying available patches to their software. Thirdly, Equifax lacked a robust compliance strategy. Compliance is not just about meeting regulatory requirements. It's about setting and maintaining standards to ensure the security of information. Adherence to compliance standards, such as regular patching of software vulnerabilities, would have provided an additional layer of defense against potential breaches. In hindsight, Equifax's data breach was a catastrophic failure of governance, risk management, and compliance. It's a classic case of what can go wrong when these three pillars of information security aren't given the attention they deserve. But remember, it's not just about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them. The Equifax breach serves as a stark reminder of the importance of these three pillars in safeguarding information. Regular risk assessments, adherence to compliance standards, and strong governance are not just buzzwords. They're essential strategies that can mean the difference between maintaining trust and suffering a devastating breach. Just as a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, an organization's information security is only as robust as its governance, risk management, and compliance strategies. Let's make sure we learn from Equifax's mistakes and build our defenses strong. So what's the bottom line of our discussion today? We dove into the intricate web of InfoSec governance and explored how a lack of it led to the Equifax data breach. This breach was a stark demonstration of the consequences of inadequate risk management and compliance. It underlined the necessity for robust governance, effective risk management, and stringent compliance in the field of information security. We also delved into the Equifax case study, unpacking how a single vulnerability was exploited due to a lapse in governance. This resulted in a massive data leak, impacting millions of people and causing significant reputational damage to the company. The key takeaway here is the critical role that governance, risk management, and compliance play in safeguarding an organization's digital assets. Remember, in the world of information security, governance, risk management, and compliance are not just buzzwords. They are the cornerstones that fortify an organization's digital fortress.